and I studied a lot of it in ChessBase, got a book on it, began playing it like a lot online, and basically from the time I was 2000 until I was 2200, I never like slowed down. I never plateaued. I think partly because of this opening. I trapped a lot of people in this opening. There's so many traps, which hopefully we'll see a good number of today. So the first game or games I want to start with happens after Black plays G6. And I actually played a tournament at the club not too long ago. It was the whatever Saturday night special. I don't know if any of you played, but it's like one big open tournament. So in the first round, the matchups are there's a pretty big rating disparity between the matchups. First round, I was playing someone maybe about 1,000 points below me, and we got to this position. And in this position, I like to play a move which maybe isn't the most common. Ken West, F4 is probably the most common move if you're a Grand Prix player. If you like to play close Sicilian, that would be G3. There's actually a third move here, which I discovered like less than a year ago, and I thought it was highly venomous, especially for players who might be expecting F4 or G3. It's just another alternative for white. Probably one of the more aggressive alternatives, which is D4. And what this does is try and question Black's setup as quickly as possible. So what my opponent did at the Saturday night tournament is he played bishop to G7. I should note that if Black takes, White can take, and the main line usually goes something like knight f6, bishop b5, and Black has to be very careful. We might actually see a game in this later. But for now, we'll look at after d4, bishop g7. Here, I take the pawn. And Black is temporarily sacrificing the pawn on c5 in hopes of winning it back. And here, my opponent played queen to c7. The other move is queen a5. And I'll have to explain that these moves can transpose into each other. So first, let me show you what I did after queen c7. I played knight to d5. My opponent took the pawn. Now I played a very sneaky move here. And this move might be a little bit strange to consider at first. It might not seem like it has a purpose, but it's very, very dangerous. Move is bishop to d2. And the threat is a little bit hidden if Black isn't careful. And what my opponent did is probably the losing move. So he played knight to f6. Might actually be losing for a few reasons. But White to move in this position, what would you guys do? Anyone? Yes, Arjun. Bishop b4, very good. And that's what I did. And the problem for Black is the queen is very limited on squares. And follow-up question, what happens after queen c6? Yes. Bishop b5, very good. It might look tempting to take the pawn in e7, but bishop b5 actually traps the queen. The queen has nowhere to go. White's pieces coordinate amazingly. And the problem for Black is that if the queen takes the bishop or queen e6, there's knight c7 possibilities. And White would just win a queen. And I think there's been a few games that have ended here after bishop e5 and Black just gives up losing the queen. So I thought this is kind of a nice game to know if your opponent just unknowingly walks into this. Now let me show you a similar line that can happen. Same position. This position, Black plays queen to a5. And I should note that the players in this game, I can't really pronounce because there's way too many consonants in a row in this game, but Michael against Rainier, and a similar type game where White wins very quickly due to exploiting the Black queen. So let's see if anyone can actually figure out the move here. So we didn't look at queen a5 before, but what would you guys play in this position?